So I saw a LinkedIn post today that said, shout out to the people whose kindness isn't a strategy, but it's a way of life. And, that quote kind of hit me a little bit. And it really put into perspective to me some of the people that I had chose to surround my life with, and who had showed kindness to me to be able to get something for themselves. But more importantly, it also put in perspective the amount of times that I have probably done that myself. And, when reading the quote and kind of thinking about what I wanted to share in regards to my thoughts here, I think that it's super important for us to realize that in a world where there's so much divide, politically, spiritually, opinion-wise, where everyone has an opinion and they're willing to die on that hill for that opinion, to fall on that sword because they believe that they're right, people have lost their kindness for each other. And we weaponize it and we use it in ways to be able to gain for ourselves. And I think that the only way to be able to prevent that and to stop that is to actively make a decision and choice that if you're going to be kind and you're going to show kindness, you're going to do it with no expectation of anything in return. And I think that it's even seeped its way into social media, especially in regards like how many videos I come across on TikTok of I'm going to do this super extremely kind act to someone and I'm going to record it because I want you to know just how great I am. I want to be able to get the views and the likes, and I want to be able to build my content, and not for the purpose of just doing something nice for someone. And, I think that at the end of the day, because we weaponize kindness and we don't choose to actively make it a part of our lives and to live a lifestyle of kindness, it's creating more divide in our society than it ever has before. So my encouragement to you is to do a nice deed. Do something legitimately kind for someone because it's the right thing to do, because you feel as if you want to be able to brighten someone's day or make a positive change in the world. And at the end of the day, don't do it for any other reason but because you want to share a life of kindness with someone with no expectation of anything in return. Go make a difference. Progress over complacency. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Monday edition of the Batmandrew Podcast, and today I thought it would be fun, on the heels of me watching Captain America: Brave New World, to talk about the rest of the 2025 agenda for Disney and Marvel and what they have on their slate. A combination between movies and Disney Plus series. And some of them have already dropped. Captain America: Brave New World, you can go see my full review on that on my YouTube page. I know other things like projects like Spider-Man has already dropped on Disney Plus, and there's a lot of content yet to come. So the only thing I've seen in 2025 so far is Captain America: Brave New World. So what I want to do today is I want to rank my anticipation for these projects that are coming. And I want to see at the end of the year, once we've consumed all of the, hopefully, magnificent Marvel content, if my anticipation had changed any, if it was misguided because the content wasn't great, if maybe my anticipation was super low, but the product ended up being amazing and ended up higher on my list. So, but it starts with talking about these projects and the anticipation of them. So there are 9 different projects that the MCU is going to put out. Now, again, Captain America: Brave New World, I wasn't a huge fan of. Didn't think it was the worst movie ever made, but certainly wasn't in the upper half of MCU projects. So with the 9 projects that are set to come out, we're going to put Captain America: Brave New World at number 5 because I have already seen it. And I'm going to use that as my guide, my what's the word I'm looking for? Where you have like a whatever. It's 5. We're gonna start it at 5. Okay, so some of the things that are coming out that we'll start with the Disney Plus side of the MCU. First and foremost, Eyes of Wakanda. I am not a huge fan of the story arc of having Shuri be our new Black Panther. I've said that before, thought it was a mistake. So when this series was announced, I didn't really quite know what to expect, but as I've heard more about it, that it's actually going to be only like 4 episodes, but it's going to take us through different generations of Black Panthers and period pieces for Wakanda, and how like they have made an impact on the world, obviously in secret, because until Black Panther, no one knew about Wakanda. Well, they knew about Wakanda, but they didn't know like about vibranium and all that, right? So, and the resources they can provide. So when I heard about it, how they were going to do it and it was going to be a period piece, I thought to myself, like, man, like this actually is probably going to be better than I thought it was going to be. Goes away from the story arc that I didn't care for, talks more about Wakanda and how they've been throughout the generations, things like that. So I actually am decently excited for this. I wouldn't say I'm head over heels excited, but it's right there, solid. It's at 6 for me. Not dead last, not in the top half, but I think it'll be pretty good. So we'll just obviously have to wait and see. Then with Disney Plus, the big one everyone is super excited for, the return of Daredevil. And obviously there were some reshoots that happened. Kevin Feige, after the turnover in leadership, he said, no, we're going to reshoot a ton of this. She-Hulk wasn't a favorite of mine, but I did love Matt Murdock's and played by Charlie Cox. I loved his arc in it. I thought he did a really good job. And the trailers and previews for this show has been great. And a lot of the conversation behind they're going to get back to that gritty action. That there's even been stories out there that it's going to be darker in tone than the previous Netflix series was. So that one is super high on my list. It is actually it's third on my list. And obviously there's 2 in front of it. We'll get to those here in a minute. But as far as Disney Plus series go, I'll tell you that I'm super excited for this. And I really hope we get something special. I think Charlie Cox deserves it. I think he is fantastic as Daredevil. I can't wait to see John Berthal as the Punisher back again. And the only character I've ever cosplayed, Kingpin. I'm a huge Kingpin fan. So let's hope we get Netflix Kingpin and not Hawaiian shirt Hawkeye Kingpin. Moving on, continuing with some of the Disney Plus series to come, Wonder Man. Now, we've only gotten 1 trailer of it, and I'll tell you, I don't really know a whole lot about Wonder Man from the comics, but the trailer sold me. I thought it was actually pretty good. I think that the tone of it, it looks like it's going to be set up to be a little bit more comedic than anything, and I think that as long as it can be funny, She-Hulk was a comedy that wasn't funny. As long as Wonder Man can provide some humor, especially that good solid MCU humor, I think it'll be pretty good. It is still down on my list. I'm going to put it at 8th, so second to last on my list. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it'll be good, but we'll see. Moving past Wonder Man, because we don't have a whole lot about it. It's not coming out to the end of the year. Not a whole lot about this one either, but Ironheart. And I've never read Ironheart in the comics. I don't know a whole lot about the character. I just know that the introduction of the character was extremely forced in Wakanda Forever. And so, in a world where the MCU, where everyone has an Iron Man suit, cool, fine. This young girl, super smart, intelligent. So, okay. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it won't. I have it last on my list. It is maybe the show I'm the most uninterested in. Now, I will say a lot of that's because I don't know a lot about the character. But again, I think that when she was introduced, the MCU was just pumping out, trying to introduce all these new characters, to produce all this new content. And I just, it didn't work for me. In fact, if you were going to do a character arc in a series of any of the MCU characters that were, introduced in the Black Panther or Wakanda Forever movies, I would love to see one on M'Baku. I think especially a prequel to him, I think would be super interesting. But, okay, so we got Ironheart coming. And obviously I know that the character's not from Wakanda. She's an Iron Man Jr. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to hold out hope. Just because it's last doesn't mean I'm not looking forward to it, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, so continuing down our list, Marvel's Zombies. I love this. I think that I wasn't a huge fan of the What If series. And in fact, I actually don't think I've even finished season 2. And is there season 3 out? I don't remember. But I will tell you that the Zombies episode of What If has been my favorite of any of the ones that I've seen. I actually have a Captain America zombie figure in my front room, and so I love the zombie aspect of it. I'm hoping they can do something cool with this, but I don't know how you take a premise that was the main premise of a 30-minute What If episode and create an entire series around it. But I love zombies. I love superheroes, and so it is pretty high on my list. So I have it there at 4. We'll see how it goes. I do love the animation from the What If series, so hopefully this will be high quality for me. So I'm looking forward to it. And then the last Disney Plus series. I know it's already out. I haven't seen any of it. I've heard it's good, but this is just my anticipation for these projects, is the Spider-Man cartoon that's out on Disney Plus. I think that it can be good. I think that it looks okay. I think the animation looks cheap, but I also hear that it's a little bit of a throwback to like the 60s Spider-Man cartoon. So fine. You know what? Like let's roll with it. Let's see how it goes. I've heard a lot of good things. Not sure if I'm super high on it, but I have it solidly there at 7, so we'll see. So that brings me to my number 1 and number 2 most anticipated project from Marvel in 2025. And for me, I will start with number 2. That is the Fantastic Four. I'm super hyped for this movie. I thought the trailers looked incredible. I think all the people who are bitching and complaining about the way the Thing looks need to go fuck off. Like he looks incredible. And sure, maybe some of the CGI isn't completely polished and finished up, but if that's the biggest complaint we have, then I think we're in for an excellent, fantastic movie. And I think that Marvel finally, because they finally have their first family, they understand how important the Fantastic Four is. And the only thing that I hate and regret of the Fantastic Four now being with Marvel is that Stan Lee will never be able to see what Kevin Feige and the MCU is going to do with the Fantastic Four. So it all started with the Fantastic Four. Thank you, Stan Lee, for giving us Marvel's first family. And I am super high looking forward to this movie. And my number 1 most anticipated movie of 2025, or MCU Project 2025, is Thunderbolts. And I don't know if I would have said that if you'd asked me 6 months ago to a year ago, like with Thunderbolts behind your list. I maybe not. But I will tell you, the trailers have done an excellent job of selling me on the fact that Thunderbolts looks like it's going to be a fantastic fucking movie. I think that Yelena and Bucky, along with Red Guardian and John Walker, the Walmart Captain America, I think that the banter between all these characters that we love, Ghost, Taskmaster, I don't know if Taskmaster will have much dialogue. I also don't know if Taskmaster is going to make it to the end of the movie because you don't see them in a lot of the marketing. But ultimately, the camaraderie, the banter, the funness that this movie is going to have, the trailers have been great. And I think that Century or the Void probably will, we'll see how that storyline pans out. But I will tell you this, that Yelena, her one line in the last trailer that came out when she said, what, none of us can fly, so we're all just going to punch and shoot. I think it's going to be fun to watch how this group of characters, this group of heroes, if you will, with limited heroic ability, will be able to come together as a team and to be able to save the world. So, and what the fuck is up with the asterisks? I am super curious and I want to know. And so I'm so hyped about this movie. When I came out of Captain America Brave New World, right as you walk out of the IMAX theater at AMC is the Wheaties box with all the Thunderbolts on it. This is going to be a lot of fun. Cannot wait for this movie. So there's my list for 2025. My most anticipated list. Number 1, Thunderbolts. Number 2, Fantastic Four. Number 3, Daredevil. Number 4, Marvel Zombies. Number 5, because I've already seen it, Captain America. Number 6, Eyes of Wakanda. Number 7, the Spider-Man cartoon. 8, Wonder Man, and 9, Ironheart. So it'll be fun to call back to this video and see where they all rank whenever we're finally done with 2025 and the MCU projects to come. So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what your most anticipated is, what you're looking forward to the most. I'd love to be able to hear from you. Thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for listening. And I'll see you again at the same Batmandrew time on the same Batmandrew channel. Thanks, guys.